Welcome to Oak Ridge, Tennessee, home of both the Heritage Railroad and the Southern Appalachia Railway Museum. If you're a fan of vintage diesel locomotives and U.S. military history, this unique operation will feel like stepping back in time. On this beautiful April morning, former CSX U-23B number 9553 would be the power for today's freight train on the Heritage Railroad. Before departure, conductor Aaron Bobian is seen adjusting today's guest horn, a Southern Railway Nathan P5 that was brought in by engineer Larry Smoke. It might sound a bit out of place for a former L&N locomotive, but no one was disappointed to hear the spirit of the Southern Railway alive in Oak Ridge.
I'm Charlie Poling. I'm the museum director for Southern Appalachia Railway Museum. One of the founding members, I guess, 25 odd years ago now. Southern Appalachia Railway Museum is dedicated to the preservation of rail history, primarily rolling artifacts from the Southern Appalachia region. We're not railroad specific. Southern, L&N, C&O, Clinchfield, Tennessee Central, all of these lines, what we consider our sphere of influence to be. Heritage Railroad is an economic development function here on the old Department of Energy K-25 site in Oak Ridge. As you might imagine, our principal commodity is radioactive materials of various description, primarily low-level radioactive waste. Our other mission is developing the site as an industrial park. Shameless plug, we have industrial sites available that are rail served. We have all the water and all the electricity you could ever imagine. Most people have already figured out we have a love affair, if you will, with the GP30 locomotive. We have 3 of those that live here normally. One of them is on lease to our friends at Orlando and Northwestern right now. I guess one of the little known facts is SARM houses the largest collection of L&N diesels on the planet. A variety of models, many of which are one of a kind. We have a L&N U25B, we have an L&N SD35, one of the Jeep 30s is L&N. We have an L&N U28B. So quite a few L&N pieces that we're really, really fond of.
As mentioned by Heritage Railroad's president Charlie Poling, the K-25 site is being developed as the East Tennessee Technology Park. Up until 2016, the museum operated excursion trains over the privately owned track within the K-25 facility under the name the Secret City Excursion Train. The operation ended when the lease agreement between the two organizations was renewed under different terms. K-25 is known for being the site where the little boy atomic bomb was built during World War II. K-25 was the code name given by the Manhattan Project to the program to produce enriched uranium for atomic bombs using the gaseous diffusion method. When it was built in 1944, the 4-story K-25 gaseous diffusion plant was the world's largest building. Construction of the K-25 facility was undertaken by J.A. Jones Construction. At the height of construction, over 25,000 workers were employed on the site. Gaseous diffusion was but one of 3 enrichment technologies used by the Manhattan Project. Slightly enriched product from the S-50 thermal diffusion plant was fed into the K-25 gaseous diffusion plant. Its product, in turn, was fed into the Y-12 electromagnetic plant, a calutron or mass spectrometer originally designed and used for separating the isotopes of uranium. The enriched uranium was used in the little boy atomic bomb used in the atomic bombing of Hiroshima, Japan. After the war, 4 more gaseous diffusion plants named K-27, 29, 31, and 33 were added to the site. The K-25 site was renamed the Oak Ridge Gaseous Diffusion Plant in 1955. Production of enriched uranium ended in 1964, and gaseous diffusion finally ceased on the site on the 27th of August in 1985. The Oak Ridge Gaseous Diffusion Plant was renamed the Oak Ridge K-25 site in 1989, and the East Tennessee Technology Park in 1996. Demolition of all 5 gaseous diffusion plants was completed in February of 2017. Near the perimeter fence, Conductor Bobian unlocks the gate where they will temporarily store GP30 number 2561. Built in March of 1975 for the L&N Railroad, this veteran GE is now owned by Vintage Locomotives Incorporated, a company owned by one of the founding members of the Southern Appalachia Railway Museum. In fact, many of the locomotives on the Heritage Railroad are owned by Vintage Locomotives Incorporated and are also considered to be part of the museum's collection. 9553 would be used to haul 3 loaded cars for a transload customer to BLAIR, Tennessee, where the Heritage Railroad interchanges with the Norfolk Southern's K&O district. Nicknamed Wade's Engine after an eccentric Heritage Railroad employee who favors GE locomotives, the 9553 was acting as substitute power for GP30 High Hood number 2561, which was having battery issues earlier in the morning. Around 10 a.m., the train departed the K-25 site for Blair, Tennessee, where the cars will be left for interchange with Norfolk Southern Railway on the K&O District. Near the interchange point along Blair Road, the U-boat experienced some severe electrical issues common to vintage GE locomotives. Conductor Beaubien attempted to restart the locomotive, but to no avail. It appeared that Wade's engine wasn't going to cooperate, and the time-honored Oak Ridge tradition of blaming Wade for everything was in order.
Damn it, Wade.
You had one job.
And you messed it up.
Not wanting to delay the interchange with Norfolk Southern, GP30 number 2561 was fired up to rescue the train. Even with a worn-out battery, it appeared that the more reliable EMD would be more than capable of saving the train. Built in October of 1962, this veteran high-hood locomotive is one of only 5 examples known to exist in the United States today. In total, there are 4 Southern Railway units and 1 Norfolk and Western GP30 that remain preserved in 2019. At BLAIR, we caught up with the train after the 2561 had shoved the consist down to the interchange. Here, the cars will be placed into the storage track for the next inbound freight train. Eventually, these important loads will be shipped to Utah for the transload customer. Still in primer from an overdue paint job, the 2561 would certainly be one of the easiest locomotives to replicate in HO scale. A simple undecorated Proto-2000 shell with light weathering and some decals would do the trick. Oak Ridge National Laboratory is one of the Department of Energy's largest science and energy labs. Managed since April of 2000 by a partnership of the University of Tennessee and Battelle Memorial Institute, the laboratory was established in 1943 as part of the Manhattan Project to pioneer a method for producing and separating uranium. Today, work at the K25 site includes sampling, characterization, abatement, segregation, packaging, transport, D&D, and disposal of hazardous materials. Once the loads had been dropped off at the interchange point with Norfolk Southern, the crew would take the empties back to the K25 site, where the cars will be delivered to one of the railroad's customers. Back at K25, the crew would perform switching moves to cut out the U-23B and L&N caboose. Once the locomotive and caboose were cut out, the 2561 will take the empties to the siding, where the locomotive will run around the cars for a shove move into the loading track, where the cars will then be sent off for the railroad's transload customer. Delay in Block Productions would like to thank the Heritage Railroad and the Southern Appalachia Railway Museum for allowing us special access to their operation at Oak Ridge. Truly, this short line and accompanying museum is one of Tennessee's best kept secrets. For more great railroad media just like this, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Until next time, thanks for watching and happy railroading from Delay in Block Productions.